Today let's talk about movies and English and how you can learn English from movies. I get this question from a lot of students who ask me, is it a good idea to watch films and series and stuff to improve my English? Of course it is. It's a great idea because films and TV series are mostly full of conversational, everyday English, But there are some things that you need to take into account, and you need to set your mind on this the right way so you can get the most out of the learning experience. So I'm going to give you a guide that you can follow and try and see if it works for you. There's one thing you need to get straight before you begin, and that's the idea of watching a film for learning English. This is different from watching a film for entertainment only. Why is this important? Because learning is a process. You cannot jump from not knowing to knowing. It's a transition. So you need to do certain things and you need to take certain steps. I'm going to give you some clues and some suggestions for that today. So, number one, when you're watching a film or a TV series or whatever, to learn English, look at it as learning in the first place. You're in a language lesson, basically, yourself. Okay? That's number one. So what you need is controlled watching. You need to control this thing in a certain way. Then you need to pick a film. What film or what movie or series to choose? I recommend that you choose something that you already know, that you have already seen before in your first language, in your mother language. Why is that? What you want to do is focus on English. So pick a film that you've seen, pick a film that you know already, and go for a scene where there's dialogue, where there's conversation. Obviously, it needs to be a scene where there are things happening and there's conversation, there's dialogue going on. How long should it be? A minute or two, but not longer. You don't need a long scene to work on, as long as there's continuous, conversation in it. You might be just fine actually starting 30 seconds, but, between 1 and 2 minutes is okay. Okay, so set up your device, your TV, your laptop, and start. Go to the scene that you want to watch. Turn down the volume first. No sound. Only watching, only image. So first just watch the scene from the beginning to end, and then just try to guess what the people might be saying. Do they look happy? Do they look sad? Do they look angry? Does it look like someone is explaining something? Does it look like someone is asking for something, etc.? Now, go back to the beginning of the scene, play it again. This time, listen only. Don't watch. Just listen, okay? So what you're going to be doing here is just listening and trying to pick up some information. Does it sound like someone is explaining something? Does it sound like, they're talking about some past experience, maybe they're planning something, whatever, okay? So just like in the first step, getting information visually, this time you're getting information just by listening. You don't have to understand all of it. No, that's not the point. The point is just trying to get into the idea of working on this scene. All right, in step 3, watch the scene again. Now, watch and listen at the same time, but no subtitles. No subtitles at this point yet. As you can see, we're gradually zooming in on the scene, step by step. Next step, step 4, you watch the scene again, now with the subtitles on in English. Watching the story, listening to it, and reading the subtitles at the same time. Sometimes subtitles don't reflect exactly what the actors are saying. Most of the time they do, sometimes they don't. Just keep it in mind. Now, if at this point you feel comfortable, you understand more, you can move on to the next point. If you don't, you can go back again and repeat this step before you move on to the next one. Right, now this was like kind of part 1, and part 2 would be the actual work on the language. Yeah, you can't continue yet with the movie. No, because you haven't done half of the work. Your homework starts now. Now you need to take your notebook, a piece of paper, a pen, or you type into your computer, whatever you prefer, but you need to take notes. You need to write down certain expressions and certain words that are in the dialogue, and to take notes of new things, maybe not new expressions, but new ways that you discovered that people are using that you didn't know before. So use the remote control or use the slider or whatever on your application and just start to watch the scene again with the subtitles on, and go and take the first 5 seconds, okay? You stop there. Just check the text. Check what they were saying. Do you find anything new, anything interesting, anything useful? Write it down. Keep your notes for later. Move on. Another 5 seconds or 8 seconds, depending on the scene, how much is actually said in the dialogue. You don't need to run here. This is the study time. You're actually doing reading here more than listening. You've done the listening part before. Now you're doing more reading and more analysis of the text, basically. All right, so just keep on until you get to the end of the scene, taking it by fractions of 5 seconds or whatever. Now, if you get tired, you can just, do the second part some other day. It doesn't have to be the same day. When you're done, just look at your notes and check your notes and see, okay, wow, these expressions are totally new. Or, wow, they're not so new, but I didn't understand them the first time. Why is that? Is it because people speak too fast? Is it because people speak in a way that I didn't expect them to? Right? This step is work. This is the study part. But if you skip this step, you're not doing your homework fully. Now, if you've got to this point and you've got your notes, you started to build a list of new expressions, go back and check those expressions from time to time. If you've got to this point, congratulations. You've put time and effort into studying. Just put your notes down and go back to the scene again, the beginning of the scene, and just watch it without worrying about anything. This time you can take it as entertainment and try to watch the scene, compare how much more you understand now than at the beginning. And you may be surprised to see that, a lot of things have become much clearer than they were. Try this method and see how well it works for you. All right, so I hope this was useful. What you need to do is, yes, go and find another scene from another movie or from this movie and work on it the same way, or similarly, and starting to train your ear in a different way. And you should notice that you're starting to understand speakers in films easier. Okay, so conclusion. If you want to improve your English with movies, it's a great idea, but you need to be a little bit patient and you need to look at it as learning rather than just entertainment. It will be more and more entertaining with time, but first you need to be focused a little bit and do take the steps, the learning steps in order to improve. Let me know in the comments if you watch films for learning English, if you try these steps and how well they work for you. And if you want to have a written summary of what I've just talked about, check out my blog at createnglish.com. Among the blog posts, you will find this one, which talks about learning English with the help of movies. So, thank you, have fun learning English with movies, and talk to you next time.